Hey, welcome back to the Coffee Chat with Chan. I'm Chan, your go-to journalist and news anchor friend, giving you a recap of all of this week's biggest news headlines. Today, I have a jam-packed show for you. We're talking about the upcoming vice presidential debate and, of course, Hurricane Helene making landfall in Florida. Plus, is Netflix really going to make a documentary about all these P. Diddy allegations? What's with UNLV's quarterback deciding to redshirt in the middle of the season? And of course, I'm including my must-watch streaming list for this week, including an incredible series on the Menendez brothers case. And for our question of the morning, I want to know, how early is too early for Christmas movies? Because Hallmark just released when they're going to start playing their Christmas movies, and it might blow your mind. So go ahead, grab your cup of coffee, hit that subscribe button and that like button as well, and let's get started on the Coffee Chat. So starting things off this morning, right now, all eyes in the political world are looking at Tuesday, and that is because on October 1st, we're going to get our vice presidential debate, the only one that we will be seeing, and probably the only debate that's left in this election cycle. So JD Vance and Tim Walz will be on the debate stage. CBS is actually hosting this debate. It'll be moderated by Norah O'Donnell from CBS Evening News and Margaret Brennan from Face the Nation. It's going to be a 90-minute debate, and you can watch it on any CBS News affiliate, CBS Network, or Paramount Plus as well. The debate will be 90 minutes and will air starting at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And of course, people in Florida and across the Gulf Coast region are still recovering after that huge Hurricane Helene made landfall. Now, the hurricane made landfall as a Category 4 storm. A storm surge warning was in place for most of the Florida coast. Officials there were asking residents to evacuate. Many of them did, luckily, but of course, the damage is still being cleared. But at the time of this recording, crews are still searching for survivors and trying to clean up all of the damage. Before the storm even made landfall, 61 of Florida's 67 counties were already under a state of emergency. All right, so y'all, we have to talk about sports because, of course, UNLV's quarterback Matthew Sluga made headlines this week because he decided to redshirt this season in the middle of the season. So now, granted, they've only played about 3 games, but this is still a pretty wild thing. And this all stems because he says he was promised $100,000 of money from UNLV that he never received. Now, this all has to do with name, image, and likeness. And if you're not familiar, of course, college athletes now own the rights to their name, image, and likeness. And it means that they can make money off of those things, whereas before they could not. And so when this quarterback transferred to UNLV, apparently he was made some verbal promises by some of the coaching staff there. Promises that he says they did not uphold their end of the bargain ups. So according to his agent and several articles, especially the Associated Press, there was a verbal agreement between the player and coaching staff that he was going to get an additional $100,000 that he did not receive. And yeah, he decided to redshirt this season. Now, according to NCAA rules, because he played less than 5 games, he can choose to do that and actually retain this year of eligibility. In your entertainment news, according to Deadline, Netflix is looking at actually doing some type of documentary or docuseries on all of these sexual assault allegations against P. Diddy. And guess who's backing it? 50 Cent. So apparently back in December, 50 Cent actually announced that he was already working on some type of documentary of this nature. And at that time, about 4 people were currently in litigation or had sued Diddy over some allegations. Now, fast forward several months later, of course, we know Diddy is facing even more allegations and, of course, is facing 3 federal charges for which he is currently sitting in jail for. And so, yeah, now Netflix has decided to pick up that option for this production that is being worked on now by 50 Cent and his company. Now, according to several different news sites, the production already has a director in place and they have already started production on this and have already even started interviewing some witnesses. All I know is if this is anything like Surviving R. Kelly or any of the other Netflix documentaries that they have personally done, I am all in. I cannot wait to see this one. I guess that's an easy transition today, though, in my what to watch list for this weekend. Breaking down everything you should be watching this week on streaming and starting things off with Netflix and an actual amazing series that they just did, Monsters, the Menendez Brothers. That's not the actual name, but it's under that Monster series. It's the same people who did the Jeffrey Dahmer story. They did one on the Menendez brothers. And if you're not familiar with the case, which I was not because I was an infant when this actually happened, don't judge me. Apparently, the Menendez brothers are accused of killing their parents back in the late 80s, early 90s. It was a wild case that was the court case that stole America's attention span before O.J. Simpson happened, of course, which interestingly enough, there's a slight tie-in with O.J. Simpson later on in the show. Anyways, it's an absolutely fascinating depiction of their case and how we perceive sexual assault allegations at that time, especially when they stemmed from young men. If you're interested in it, if you like anything regarding true crime, it's really great. It's just also a great drama and a masterclass in acting. Some of these scenes just made you cry, and they were just so gut-wrenching and so raw. It just 10 out of 10 performances all the way around. Just know, if they don't win some type of Emmy next year, I don't know, there's no justice in this world. Other shows to watch this week. I finally finished watching that episode of The Penguin that is on Max. It is amazing. I still cannot believe that is Colin Farrell as the Penguin. He does an amazing job in this role. It took a lot of twists and turns in just the first episode. Absolutely great. Cannot wait to watch the second one. And I mentioned it at the very beginning. Hallmark recently sent out their PR list telling everybody about the whole countdown to Christmas, all of their new movies and everything that they have planned for the holidays. And this year, their Christmas movies are debuting on October 18th. Now, I love Christmas and all things Hallmark, but my question for you this morning is that too early to start watching Christmas movies? Me personally, I do not think so. I would watch them all year round, and I typically do. Like, I watch the whole Christmas and July thing that they have. I love their movies, but I know not everybody feels the same as me. So weigh in on the Coffee Chat question of the morning and let me know, how early is too early to start watching Christmas movies? And is October 18th too early? And if you're interested in Hallmark Christmas movies, don't worry. Make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button, because I will be doing, of course, a whole breakdown on all things Hallmark Christmas movies, because I love them. It's my thing. So hopefully you do too. And if you don't worry. It's a whole separate playlist. Speaking of the holidays, though, 7-Up just announced a new holiday flavor. They're releasing a Shirley Temple flavor. Yes, just in time for the holidays. And I can just imagine how amazing it's going to be in my Ho 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 Christmas punch. Yeah, that's going to be a vibe. At the same time, though, Coca-Cola announced that they are pulling their spice products. Yeah, the Coca-Cola Spice and Zero Sugar Spice. They were only on shelves for about 7 months, but apparently people just didn't like them. Probably because they didn't taste anything like spice. They just tasted like some type of berry flavor. Maybe marketing got the name wrong. I don't know. And in other trending news, it's almost Fat Bear Week. If you do not know what Fat Bear Week is, it's absolutely adorable. So this is a whole thing that's actually put on by the National Park Service to make people more aware of brown bears and their hibernation habits. So there's a whole thing online. You can go to fatbearweek.org or .com, whatever. There's a whole website, and you can watch the live bear cams, and you can bet on the fattest bear in the Katmai National Park in Alaska. It's really cute. It's a lot of fun. One of the bears' names is Chunky Bear Donkadonk. I mean, that's just adorable. That's social media gold right there. Like, I don't know what else we want to be doing with our time other than enjoying Fat Bear Week. I love this. Hall of Fame quarterback Brett Favre made headlines this week because he announced that he has Parkinson's. Now, he made this announcement during a congressional hearing that was actually for an investigation into a welfare scheme that happened in Mississippi that he happened to be a part of. Now, Brett Favre was one of the main investors in a company that was supposed to be making a drug that was supposed to help with concussions. Well, that company is accused of essentially taking money that was supposed to be used for TANF and then taking millions of that dollars to be used for their own gain and using it for other things as well. Now, Brett Favre is not facing any criminal charges, and he does deny knowing anything about the wrongdoing that happened. In political news, the House and Senate passed a spending bill that will fund the government through December 20th. Now, that December 20th deadline means that, yes, there will be another fight about budget spending just before the holidays. But this one does fund the government through that date. One of the things included in this bill, though, is additional funding, some extra $200 million for the Secret Service. This comes in the wake of those 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump's life. And President Joe Biden gave his final speech before the United Nations General Assembly and what could be his final speech on a world stage. Now, during his speech, he didn't say, a lot politically, but he did reflect a lot on his time in office and just his life in general and how he's seen the world change. Of course, the United Nations General Assembly was meeting in New York City this week, and leaders from all over the world were there to discuss mostly the war in Ukraine and, of course, the ongoing war in Gaza. All right, that's all for this morning's Coffee Chat with Chan. Thanks so much for spending some time with me this morning. As always, stay caffeinated, stay curious, and hit that like and subscribe button.